So yesterday we were discussing about aldol condensation and we ended up discussing lastly what is retroaldol. Continuing in a similar type, we have a Perkins reaction. Here also it is like an aldol, which is a cross aldol of an aromatic aldehyde and acetic acid. Got it? Basically acetic acid or an acetic anhydride, any form of that. So aromatic aldehyde with an acetic anhydride. So aromatic aldehydes, when you treat that with acidic anhydride, we might get alpha beta unsaturated acids. So that's what is Perkins reaction. So basically, if we check out benzaldehyde and react that with an acetic anhydride, we have to take a salt of a same kind. Like if you take CH3COO minus, then we CH3COO, then we have to take the salt of a similar kind just to avoid any other byproducts. The product we will get here, the product we'll get here is PH CH double bond CH COOH, which is cinnamic acid. Let's see the mechanism, how it is operated. CH3CO minus, right, the base which we have added here will extract the proton from the alpha position, okay, of this anhydride, and it will generate this carb anion. So this carb anion will act like the nucleophile, right, so which will attack on C double bond O of benzaldehyde. Now as it attacks here, we can see this oxygen will get negative charge here, and as soon as the attack happens here, from this end you could see this entire thing, C double bond O, C double bond O, CH3, this is the part, right. So that gets attacked by the O minus present here, okay. So this gets rearranged to this point, and you can see a cyclic formation is observed here. So we can have this carbon with O minus with one methyl group here, and this O got connected with that carbon here, okay, and rest of the structure is the way it is. Now once this is done, you know O minus can't be stable, so it will close as a double bond, so this bond will break here, this will become O minus. Now as soon as that becomes here, you can see this there is a bond which is breaking here, so you will get this as an ester form on this side, O C double bond O CH3. This carbon will have COO minus with this alpha position having an hydrogen. Now CH3CO minus extract this proton, right, and shift this double bond here, force that double bond to go there, and O minus will be relieved from here. So what you would see here is that we have PH, then CH double bond CH, then COO minus. So that is the formation which you will observe. And after that, this acetate which is there, it will come out as CH3CO minus. So the reason why we are using this salt is because the leaving group which is coming after that, that should be same, okay, or else multiple substitutions can happen. So that's why we are always choosing whatever anhydride you take, the same type of a salt you would choose. So we will get this as PH CH double bond CH CO minus. That on hydrolysis will give you cinnamic acid. How do we do this in short way? Okay, so check this. We have PH CH double bond O and CH2H with C double bond O O C double bond O CH3. This is how it is present. So simply take out this as water and connect it. Okay. So wherever you find this benzaldehyde, just remove this oxygen and these two hydrogens. So we will get this as PH CH double bond CH C double bond O, and whatever this part is, remove it out as the acetate. So we will left out with OH plus CH3 CO minus. So this is how the product formation is seen. I guess this is clear. So Perkins reaction, here the RDS step is the attack of nucleophile. So when this CH2 minus attacks, that is the RDS of the reaction. Okay. So it is similar aldol type of a reaction, except that it is not the aldehyde form which is attacking, it is the anhydride form or an ester form which will make an attack here, and that's how you will get this an alkene form eventually. Okay. Now coming to the next reaction, what we call it as the Cannizzaro reaction. Now this is an important area where we need to just judge on two important things here. One thing, this is done mainly for aldehydes, not for ketones. Second thing, it involves a hydride shift. This involves an hydride shift. Got it? So it involves an hydride shift from one aldehyde to the other aldehyde. Now, what type of an aldehydes will make Cannizzaro reaction? What type of an aldehydes will make Cannizzaro reaction? Let's see. This type where you have formaldehyde, benzaldehyde, bivaldehyde. Here you would see there is no alpha hydrogen. So far we have seen the cases where there is an alpha hydrogen. Here are the cases where there is no alpha hydrogen. And next thing, it always happens in a concentrated, OH minus, which means strong base. So strong base is the way to make this reaction happen. Why? We'll see the mechanism now. Suppose if I take 2 moles of this aldehyde, okay, any of this aldehyde, and treat with concentrated KOH, the product you will see is 1 mole HCOOH is getting oxidized, the other mole is getting reduced. So we will see an oxidation as well as reduction happening of the same molecule. So which means it is a disproportionation reaction. So if you consider the same aldehydes, we will have disproportionation reaction taking place here. So let's see the mechanism, what is going to happen here. See, earlier, just let me point out this. Suppose when it comes to aldol, we have seen one thing, C double bond OH, OH minus. Any strong base when you add, instead of attacking as a nucleophile, they prefer to extract proton from here. You have learned this as a part of base catalyzed tautomerism also. So it will extract that proton and becomes enolate ion CH2 C double bond OH. This is what we are expected. And that's how the aldol condensation begins. In fact, aldol reactions begin, right? But what if there is no alpha hydrogen present at all? Now, since there is no alpha hydrogen, the base does not have any other support but to act as a nucleophile only. So, this is the only reaction which we can expect. So, if there was an alpha hydrogen, definitely that is the first priority. Got it? But if there is no alpha hydrogen, the attack will always be nucleophilic. So, this would be the nucleophilic attack which you will observe. The same logic will be applied here. You would see there is no alpha hydrogen here. So, OH minus, that OH minus will attack as the nucleophile here, right? It will attack here, this carbon. And this would become HCO minus OH and H. This is what you have. Okay. So what we are getting is an oxy anion intermediate. Okay. Oxy anion intermediate has been formed. Now these steps usually happen at a faster rate. This is the first mole which we have seen. Now if there are there are second moles present nearby, right, in the solution. So now this molecule, if you observe, O minus is definitely not stable. It will try to close this as a double bond. As soon as it closes, now instead of OH minus releasing and going back, correct, one thing you will observe is that hydride will be removed here as H minus, and that H minus will attack on carbon. Okay, and this happens at a slow process. So which makes this the RDS of the reaction as well, right? The hydride shift is processed here. So you can see this hydride shift which is happening here. The reason for the hydride shift is this O minus is pushing electrons back towards carbon by making a double bond. You can say it is giving a plus I effect strongly as well. Because of that, this hydrogen can be relieved as H minus. And that H minus will attack as a nucleophile on this carbon, right? Thereby giving us HC double bond OH. This is the first mole, and the second mole will become HCO minus H and H. So this is the hydride which has shifted. You can see this is an alkoxide now, CH3O minus. Alkoxides are strong bases. It will extract the proton from here. So it will extract the proton from here, and we would have the products as HCOO minus plus CH3OH. This is what you will observe. Okay. Now this reaction is like I said, the hydride shift is pretty slow. This reaction could go backward also. Okay. But as long as there is no alpha hydrogen present, then and only then this hydride shift is observed. Okay. That is exactly what happens in CaNeZero. Now in CaNeZero, what you will see, the final products depends upon type of solvent used. Suppose if I use HCOOH, because this is a solvent, it will keep taking away this H plus, and finally the products would be HCOOH and CH3O minus. But if the solvent is CH3OH, we will have HCO minus and CH3OH as the final products. But this is not much of an importance. You just need to know, if nothing is given, if any solvent is not mentioned, just imagine that the final product will always be carboxylate ion and alcohol. That is the final product which is formed. Check out the rate now. Because this is the slow step, there are two reactant molecules involved as well as one OH minus involved before that slow step. So what would be the rate of the reaction now? Rate of the reaction would be some constant into HCHO whole square into OH minus, right? Which makes it, right? So the order of the reaction is 3. So it is a third order reaction. Okay. Now one thing that has been observed, when HCHO, there is a hydride shift happening, right? Suppose if the solvent we are using is water, if there is D2O present in it, there is no evidence of this hydrides getting changed, or this hydrogen, right, is coming from solvent. So there is no evidence of that, which means you will see that whatever CH3OH is forming here, right, that hydrogen is only coming from this formaldehyde, not from D2O, for it. So it gives an importance that there is only an hydride shift and there is no exchange from the solvent. Okay. So solvent is not involved here. Suppose if the same reaction, if the same reaction is even processed with more high concentration of OH minus, we generally say 60% to 80% OH minus concentration. So at high concentration, first we will see an oxyanion is forming. That oxyanion formation, again OH minus will extract the H plus present on that oxyanion and it form dianion. It will form a dianion. And dianion will try to make this as a double bond, making a hydride shift to that of HC double bond OH. And that's how we will get the carboxylate ion here, formate ion here, and this will become CH3O minus, which eventually on hydrolysis will become HCOOH plus CH3OH. Okay. Now if you observe this hydride here, it has strong plus I effect from both the ends. So which makes this which makes the hydride to relieve at a much faster rate. Got it? So hydride would be easily removed out as long as we have a strong donating groups. Okay. What would be the rate now? Rate would be some constant into HCHO whole square, because you can see there are two molecules of formaldehyde are involved in the reactant. At the same time, you can see there are two OH groups, OH minus here as well as OH minus here. These are also involved. So which means it would be OH minus whole square as well, and this makes it a fourth order reaction, fourth order kinetics. Okay, so you just have to check out, if it is a strong base it will be fourth order. If it is a concentrated base, if nothing is mentioned, unless strong is not mentioned, you will take order as 3. Got it? I guess you understood what is happening in Cannizzaro, everyone. Now, this Cannizzaro can be carried out both in intramolecular as well as intermolecular. Earlier what we have seen is an intermolecular. We took two molecules of aldehyde which has no alpha hydrogen. Now if you see intramolecular, here also with respect to this CHO, we don't have any carbon directly connected which has CH3 something like that, or some alpha hydrogen connected on it. So these type of cases also, what you will see, internally there would be an Cannizzaro happening, and one carbon would get alcohol form, the other carbon will get acid form. Okay. So glyaxol will become glycolate. Now let us see the mechanism. What would happen? See, OH minus will again attack on one of the carbons here, and that makes it HOCO minus HC double bond OH, right? Now as soon as this closes here, this hydride shift is observed. This is the slow step of the reaction, and we will get this as HOC double bond O, CH, H and O minus, and this O minus will take away the H plus from here, and we will get this as COO minus connected with CH2OH. This is what we will get. Okay. If you write the rate would be constant into OH minus concentration multiplied by H2C2O2 concentration. Okay. Because it is intramolecular, there are not two molecules involved, or within one molecule only the reaction is taking place. So order of the reaction is 2 here. Okay. So this is what happens in intramolecular Cannizzaro. Okay. So it's pretty simple reaction. So you just have to understand where the hydride shift would be. Now, so far we are taking about the same molecule, either intramolecular or intermolecular. What if you have two different aldehydes? If you have two different aldehydes, then it will go for cross Cannizzaro. Okay. In cross Cannizzaro, nucleophile will always attack on, the one which is more reactive. Suppose if you take benzaldehyde and formaldehyde, you know that formaldehyde is more reactive for nucleophilic addition. So this will get oxidized. Okay. And hydride shift will happen from formaldehyde to benzaldehyde. Okay. So that is a point you need to be careful with. So which means, what is the product we can expect? You expect this as HCOO minus plus CH2OH. Okay. So let's see the mechanism. What happens? First we have HC double bond O H plus OH minus. Attack here. We will get this as HCO minus OH and H, which is ready to react with benzaldehyde, CH double bond O, and as the bond closes here, hydride shift will take place. You will get this as HC double bond O OH plus, here we will get CH2O minus, and that CH2O minus will extract the proton, and we will get this as CH2OH, plus HCO minus. Okay. Now one question that comes to our mind, sir, because this is also an no alpha aldehydes. This also has no alpha, no alpha hydrogen. So can we not have the product for this also? So internally can it not give the same product, and at the same time can this not give the same product? Okay. Yes, you can have the other product as CH3OH also, got it, which is the self Cannizzaro of CHO. And if you expect this to happen where there is COO minus, we might see some amount of this, but experimentally it has been observed that whenever we are taking formaldehyde, the amount of other aldol, right, so other self aldol is relatively so less that we can almost ignore this. So which means we can completely ignore this part, but this can be still done, which means this self will be done, the cross will be done, got it. But the self of benzaldehyde is hardly seen in front of HCHO, got it, because HCHO will react so fast in front of benzaldehyde, so it will completely involve into cross conjugation only, cross Cannizzaro only. Everybody understood that? So again, this is purely experimentally observed. Otherwise, in other than formaldehyde, if it is been any other aldehyde which has no alpha hydrogen, you will see all four products. But only in the case of formaldehyde, you don't see that. Okay. If you ask the major product, always write major as this and this, because you are almost taking 1:1 ratio here. So major product will be about this. Hydrate transfer happens on this. Okay. I hope all of you got this. What is cross Cannizzaro? Check this case. Suppose if we are comparing the rates, okay, this is the experimental data with respect to benzaldehyde. If you compare the rate of Cannizzaro reaction here, Cannizzaro slow step is what here? This is the slow step, right? Where there is an hydride shift. So we just need to check out which has the high ability to give hydride. So one which can give hydride easily will have faster rate. So with respect to benzaldehyde, if you compare any donating species like methyl benzaldehyde, its rate is less. Okay. Then methoxybenzaldehyde, its rate is even less. Dimethylamine benzaldehyde, got it, even less. Nitrobenzaldehyde, which is withdrawing, so the rate is more, got it. So please understand this. This rate is about how OH minus will attack on it. Suppose, let me clarify that. Suppose if you have benzaldehyde C double bond OH and OH minus is attacking here, and if we have C double bond OH with NO2, OH minus is attacking here, correct? Right. So if at all I call this as rate 1 and rate 2, what we will observe, the rate of attack of OH minus here would be more, correct? Because this carbon is more reactive as compared to that of this carbon. Okay. Similarly, if you compare, benzaldehyde, which has donating group like OCH3, and this is attacking on this carbon, which is rate 3, that would be even less because OCH3 is already a donating species. So if you consider the rate, or if you consider how faster the reaction is happening in this, so R2 would accept the nucleophile at a faster rate as compared to that of R1 as compared to that of R3. Okay. So this is the rate of nucleophilic acceptance. Okay. But once a nucleophile is been made, now suppose by two different reactions, if you are comparing which one will give better hydride shift, okay, check the data once again. Let me clarify, because this is a confusion which students usually have. See this point to 0.05, this is showing that the nucleophilic addition is slow when there is a donating species. Okay. But suppose if you compare the hydride shift nature, that is which is a better hydride donor. Okay. Hydride donor. If I compare between these two, which is better donor, then this will be better donor. Okay. Here, because OCH3 is a donating species will push the electrons towards carbon so that hydride can relieve very easily. This is in an monoanion, oxyanion. This is the dianion. Even in the dianion also, OCH3 is a donating species. It will donate so strongly that H minus shift will be easier. So you will see hydride shift will be better for this. If you were asked what is the rate of Cannizzaro for nitro substituted benzaldehyde or methoxy substituted benzaldehyde, then rate would be more for this one. But if you were asked which one is a better hydride donor out of these two, which one is a better hydride donor, then this will be the better hydride donor because it can donate electrons to carbon so that hydride can remove easily. Have you understood the difference? So when it comes to nucleophilic reaction, you should see withdrawing groups. When hydride donor is to be compared, then you have to check donating groups. Okay. Right. I have written this general statement here, right, which says that just now I mentioned that if one of the aldehyde is formaldehyde, the yield is almost exclusively sodium formate. Okay, and the alcohol corresponding to the other aldehyde. Got it? So this is what has been experimentally observed. So exclusively we will get this CH2OH plus HCO minus only in the case of formaldehyde. Other cases, so you can see that generally a mixture of two aldehydes undergo Cannizzaro reaction to give all possible products. But only in the case of formaldehyde, you will see other products quantity would be so less that we can ignore it. Okay. Right. So these are the three cases we have studied: self, intramolecular, and cross Cannizzaro. Now see what type of questions usually comes from this section. Right. So first I took all the self cases, self Cannizzaro. So suppose benzaldehyde, this has no alpha hydrogen, that in strong basic medium, concentrated basic medium, we will get two products. One is COO minus benzoate, right, and the other one would be CH2OH, benzyl alcohol. Okay, so it has undergone disproportionation. If you check out the oxidation state, for example, this is how it is connected: carbon carbon connected, it is connected to hydrogen with double bond O. So you can see it is losing 2 electrons here, it is gaining 1 electron here. So overall the charge on this carbon would be +1. Oxidation state is +1. Here it is carbon carbon connected with double bond O, O minus. So losing 2 electrons here and losing 1 electron here. So which means oxidation state is +3. So from here to here it has undergone, from here to here it has undergone oxidation. So taking 2 moles of it. See the oxidation state here, we have carbon, hydrogen, OH with other carbon. It is gaining 1 electron from here, 1 from here, losing 1 here. So overall it is -1. So you can see from +1 to -1 reduction, +1 to +3 oxidation. So it is disproportionation reaction which you will observe. Okay. Next, see the next question here now. HC double bond OH. When you take 2 moles of this, check carefully, okay, before writing the product. I'm just showing you what is happening. O minus OD will come here first, H will be present. The other mole HC double bond OH will be present. You have to make sure this hydride is shifted, correct? And this double bond will get closed. So we will have this as HC double bond O OD plus CH2O minus, and this O minus is the one which will extract this proton. So what are the final products we have? HCOO minus plus CH2OD. This is the final product. These two are the final products. Keep working with me, everyone. Try the next one. Let's see that. Now we have to decide between deuterium and hydrogen which will shift. The deuterium carbon deuterium bond would be stronger compared to that of carbon hydrogen bond. So hydride will be shifting here. So what will be the product? We will have D C double bond O O minus plus D C CD CD H2 OD. This is what you will have. I hope all of you got that. Keep trying the next one. This time there is no other alternative but to make sure that only deuterium shifts here. So we will have D C double bond O O minus plus CD 3 OH. All of you getting that? Next, here it is a intramolecular Cannizzaro. So you can see 1 mole would become COO minus, the other mole will become CH2OH. Okay, this is how it is formed. Next, instead of directly giving, without alpha hydrogen, sometimes you will be given halides here. Correct. Now these halides will be replaced by OH groups because we have high concentration of OH. So first we can expect that both the OH will be replaced, correct, and two OH groups would be unstable on that. So we will get C double bond O, CHO is forming. Okay, or I'll write this as C double bond O, H is forming. Okay, now you can see again this has become a situation where there is no alpha hydrogen with respect to this, there is no alpha hydrogen with respect to C double bond. So intramolecular can take place. So again with concentrated KOH, intramolecular will take place, and first OH minus will attack on more reactive aldehyde, and you can see this side is the aldehyde form. So OH minus will first attack on this side, and then this hydride will shift. You can see then this hydride shift will take place to this side. So what is the product? You will have PH C O minus H C double bond O OH, which will take the H plus from the acid and will get PH COH and COO minus. So that will be the final product. I hope all of you understood that. See the next question. The next question you would see, like I told you, NO2 is a withdrawing group, OM is a donating group. Which is more reactive? More reactive is this one. So OH minus attack will happen only on this carbon. Okay. So therefore, we would have. I'm only talking about major products. Please understand that. Okay. We're talking only about major products. So we will get this as CHO NO2 here. So we will get uh, this would form CO minus with NO2 plus hydride shift will happen from the same place where OH is attached. So we'll get this as CH2OH and OMe. Hope that's clear, everyone. Okay. Check this case. This is an intramolecular Cannizzaro here. Between these two and between these two, we can see intramolecular can take place. Now, how would this happen? Let me start with the first one. With the first one, we might expect, let's say, at any place we have added OH here. So, OH, H, we have, uh, right, and another H we have here. Okay. Sorry, O minus. Now this as O minus, and this is connected with this group here as C double bond OH. This is how it is, right? Before this happens, so before anything happened here, let us just assume we had this. Now, hydride shift will take place as O minus will close here, this hydride will shift here, okay? As soon as the hydride shift takes place, we will have this group as COOH, and here we will have CH2O minus, CH2O minus, and we'll have C double bond OH, okay, and CHO. Now, as soon as you have CaOH here, correct? So this group will relatively become slightly leaving group here, I mean a withdrawing group here. Got it? Because of this, if you consider between these two, this would become more reactive. So OH minus will attack on the same carbon here, and we would have the group like this with COOH and CH2O minus, and here CO minus, H and OH, CHO, and as it closes, hydride shift will take place to this side. Eventually we will have this side CO minus, this side also CO minus connected with CH2OH and CH2OH. This is the major product observed. Okay. So both sides acids, both sides alcohol. Please make a note of that. Next case is a straightforward case. There is no issue here. Even if there is any chlorine, that is not going to create any disturbance. So we'll have CO minus here with Cl plus CH2OH here with Cl. So that will be the major product. Let's see the next one. If we react that with HCHO here, we know that HCHO will be the most reactive one, so that will become carboxylate, and the other part will become alcohol, OMe, OMe and CH2OH. OCH3 is present here. Still the reaction will take place, although it is donating. So we'll have CH2OH, OCH3 plus COO minus OCH3. Keep writing. Now here if you check it out, CHO, there is no alpha hydrogen here also. So all these alpha hydrogens are connected by hydroxymethyl. Okay. So hydroxymethyl, three trihydroxymethyls are connected on that, and there is no alpha hydrogen. So it has to go for CaNO, right? So we will get 2 moles of that. Now when you are reacting that with HCO minus, definitely this will become HCO, HCHO, it will become HCO minus, and here this would become an alcohol. This is furfural. Furfural is like benzaldehyde only. There is no alpha hydrogen here. The reaction will take place in strong basics medium to form CaNO reaction. See, in case of phenolic groups, or you can have hydroxy group, hydroxide OH groups are very strongly donating, right? Because they are strongly donating, the product formation would be very slow and the yield is very poor. This yield which we will get, CH2OH, OH, very poor yield. So when you have very strong donating groups, so which are the cases where we will consider as if the reaction is not happening only? So benzaldehyde, let me write that note, benzaldehyde with O minus, OH, NH2, NR2 or NHR, okay, got it, and OR, which we have written above if you check out here, right? This one also poor yield. So and OR gives poor yield or no reaction. So in case in the exam it is asked, you just write it as no reaction. Got it? Now in case of, this is at ortho and para position, okay, at ortho and para position, but in case of O minus, OH and NR2, even at meta position, okay, NH2 also, sorry, NR2, NH2, even at meta position, reaction yield is poor. Okay, so if you see any of these groups, just say there is no reaction happening for CaNO. Let's come to the next type of next reaction, which is benzyl benzalic. These are all the applications of CaNO, like they go exactly like CaNO reactions only. Okay, so two phenyls connected with alpha diketones like this. This is called benzyl. Asha, if you remember, what was benzoin? CHOH, C double bond O, PH. This was benzoin. We did something called benzoin condensation, if you remember. If you oxidize this either with PCC, PDC, we will get this as PH, C double bond O, C double bond O, PH, which is benzyl. So we can produce benzyl by oxidation of benzoin. Once you have benzene and we treat that with concentrated KOH or NaOH, so this OH minus, because there is no alpha hydrogen here also, it will directly attack as a nucleophile. Okay, both are symmetrical, you can attack on any side. So we have PH, O minus, OH, then C double bond O, PH. Okay, now as the bond closes here now, since there is no hydride shift happening, there is no hydride to make hydride shift, this time it is the phenyl which shifts. So this time it is the phenyl shift which happens, and this is the RDS and slow step of the reaction. This is a phenyl shift. So phenyl shift will take place and we'll have HO, C double bond O, C, O minus. As it shifts, this carbon would get O minus, H, PH and PH. And this will take away the H plus from acid and we'll get O minus, C double bond O, C, OH, PH and PH. Okay. So this form of an acid, this form is like an acid, we call it as benzylic acid. Benzylic acid. Okay. So that's why it is called benzylic acid rearrangement. Got it? Let me show you an example here. See, same kind here also. We have alpha diketones connected with some groups here. So it is like a benzoin here, like a benzyl here. Now OH minus would first attack on any of this carbon here. O minus will get rearranged. So I will get molecule like this with OH, O minus, right, and double bond O. Now as this double bond closes, this bond will break and connect here. As that bond connects there, so we will get, right, this becomes a 5-membered ring here with the last carbon getting COOH and this is getting CH2O minus, and this CH2O minus, sorry, just the O minus here, O minus. So this O minus will takes away H plus and finally we'll have the product. CO minus and OH. This is the final product. So wherever you see this kind of questions, got it, where alpha diketone is present, okay, in concentrated KOH, always do benzyl benzylic rearrangement. Make sure that there is no alpha hydrogen. The minute there is an alpha hydrogen, it will always favor aldol. Okay. Whatever we are discussing, these are all the cases where there are no alpha hydrogens. Okay. So I guess that reaction is clear. Next type of a reaction, which is again a modified form of Cannizzaro reaction, is Tischenko reaction. Okay. Now what does Tischenko do? Here aldehyde disproportionate in the presence of a Lewis acid like alkoxy aluminium, trialkoxy aluminium, to give ester. So the final product is ester. For example, if I take 2 moles of this aldehyde in the presence of trialkoxy aluminium, it will give an ester form. Now the short way or the trick way to remember this is that think as if this aldehyde is first undergoing Cannizzaro. Just think that way. So what do we get? We will get this as RCH2OH and we will get RCH2 COOH, right? Acid and alcohol. So this acid and alcohol make esterification. So if you make esterification of that, which means this OH and H, if you relieve whatever the connection that makes, you will get this as the product, right? So this is an easy way of remembering. So wherever you find trialkoxy aluminium with the aldehydes, you will get this, right? Now here there is no compulsion of having alpha hydrogen, not having alpha hydrogen, because you are not taking any base here. Are you getting it? So there is no compulsion of not having alpha hydrogen. So how does the reaction proceed? See, AlOET thrice, that is an acid. So the lone pair on the aldehyde will attack as a base and we'll get this as RC double bond O, AlOET thrice minus and plus H. This will increase the delta positive on the carbon, makes it nucleophilic. So now the second mole, which is RC double bond OH, the lone pair present on it can attack here. As soon as that attack happens, this bond will move on to oxygen. So we will have RCO here with Al OET thrice with minus charge, H oxygen, double bond with R and H. This is how it is. Now as soon as this bond breaks and try to make retain the double bond back here, this hydride shift will take place here. So same logic here also. So O minus will try to close the bond, thereby hydride shift will happen on this carbon. So this is the H shift. Now as soon as the hydride shift happens, you can see we will get this as R, C double bond O, oxygen is got connected already, so we will get this as CH2 and R is connected to that. Okay. So what we got is an ester, this ester plus Al OET thrice. This is the final product. So you can see this is the product which we are expected to do. And if you don't remember mechanism, never mind, just make this. Okay, this is the best way to remember. Got it? Take two aldehydes, make alcohol and acid just like CaNO, then connect them as esterification. Right? So that would give us the answer. Okay, I hope you guys understood that. See, any given question here, you can see it is not necessary condition for not having alpha hydrogen. So even if you have alpha hydrogen here, we will get the same product. So what I will do here, see the way I'll work out. CH3 CH2OH alcohol, CH3 COOH acid. I will just connect both of them. CH3 C double bond O, O CH2 CH3. Okay. Most of the time students forget this. Please make sure ester here is with all the carbons. There is no loss of carbon atoms. Okay. So that is the final product you will have. Same thing here also. If you have phthalide, okay, here also we can see the same reaction. This side hydride will shift, so I can make this as an ester form. Okay, and we have oxygen connected to this. This will be the final product. So wherever you will see alkoxy aluminium, trialkoxy aluminium here, just make sure you go through Tischenko's reaction. I hope all of you understood that. Now, the last bit of reaction is Tollens reaction. Tollens reaction is a mix of aldol and CaNO. Got it? So first, suppose if you have a group which has alpha hydrogen and the other one doesn't have alpha hydrogen in the presence of NaOH. We have discussed this. We used to call this as Claisen-Schmidt condensation reaction. So first we do Claisen-Schmidt only. But over the time, at the last case, you will see CaNO will take place. So and you will get this as the overall product. Let me show you how the mechanism is driven here. See, first, if I take first mole here, react that with OH minus. We know that first it will extract proton from here because it is going through an aldol route now. We have RCH CHO minus, right? So this is the enolate which has formed. This enolate will attack on HC double bond OH going through Claisen-Schmidt reaction here. So we will have this as RCH, okay, CHO, which is connected to CH2OH. This is what you will get. So this CHO is this one and this C double bond O is becoming CH2OH here. So this is the first mole which has happened, right? So we got an aldol here. So this is the aldol form. Now this aldol still has an alpha hydrogen here. So further OH minus will attack to remove that. So we will get this as RC CHO minus CH2OH. Okay. Again we have enolate ion formation here. That if you treat that treat with HC double bond OH, correct? So this will again attack here. So the product we will get is R C CHO CH2OH and CH2OH. Got it? We got this. Suppose if this R doesn't have an alpha hydrogen, so imagine this R could be anything which does not, this R could be any carbon, and now this carbon does not have any alpha hydrogen. So now it has no alpha hydrogen. Okay. This time how the reaction takes place between these two? Cross Cannizzaro. Because now in concentrated KOH, you can see we have an aldehyde form here, this aldehyde with also no alpha hydrogen. So perfect case for cross Cannizzaro. So the product in cross Cannizzaro, you know, formaldehyde will always become formate and this aldehyde will always become alcohol. So we will get this as R C CH2OH CH2OH and CH2OH. This is the product formation. Okay. So this is again similar to that of swastik. Just now we have discussed this. This is the way it is. OH, OH and OH. Right. So in the part 1 carbonyl compounds, we discussed about this is where we ended actually, thermodynamic and kinetically controlled reactions. Suppose if you have a conjugated, aldehyde or ketones, so you can see there is an alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde or ketone. Now this, if you treat with any strong nucleophile like Cn minus, in case if you are operating at a very low temperature, right, the addition would be always 1 2. Okay, so which means Cn minus will directly attack here and O minus will form, that O minus will take H plus and you will get cyanohydrin formation. Okay. So at low temperatures, what it is observed that this carbon with delta positive, right, that would be more significant for the attack of this Cn minus. If you operate at high temperature, then you have to check out for the more stable product. So if you consider this C double bond C as compared to that of C double bond O, this is more stable. So therefore, this time Cn minus will make an attack on this 1,4 position, which means this position where it attacks, this is called the conjugated product. So Cn minus, if you check out with respect to the position, this is 1 2 3 4. So it is like on 4 Cn minus is added, from O minus we get this H plus to be added and this double bond will shift here. Let me show you that. So we will get this O minus double bond shifted here, Cn gets added here. Okay. And this on hydrolysis, we will get an enol form here, OH cyanide, and this enol will again convert back to this ketone. Correct. So if you see thermodynamically which is more stable between these two, then this is more stable. So that's why at high temperature normally we will see Cn minus will attack on 1,4 addition or conjugate addition. Okay. So which means even at the normal temperatures, right, even at the normal temperature, except a very strong nucleophile like RMGX or RLI, these will still give give 1 2 addition, but other than that rest of all will give conjugate additions. Okay. So for instance, if you check out CH3 MgBr here, so in this case the product formation would be, without disturbing this double bond here, the addition would be OH and methyl. This is what you will have. This is the final product. Same is the case with pH Li here. We will get this as OH and pH here. This is the product formation. The minute if you add CuX, correct? So this RMGX, this R will get complex formed with copper, becomes a Gilman's reagent. And now the R minus is relatively weaker nucleophile. So this time it will go for 1,4 addition or a conjugate addition. So the product now would be, so which means this R minus this time, this R minus is now attacking on this side. So it will attack on this side now. So we will get here as double bond O the way it is, and R gets added here. This will be the final product. Same is the case here. So either you write RMGX CUX or R2 CULI, same product. Now even if you have R2 CD, same product. Got it? So R2 CD, R2 CULI or RMGX in CUX, they all will give you conjugate addition. If and only if CH3 MgBl PLI, this is RLI is given, they will give for 1,2 addition. Okay, this is the thermodynamically controlled reaction in case of conjugate aldehydes or ketones. But what if you have a simple ketone? So this time let us see kinetic and thermodynamic controlled reactions in case of aldehydes and ketones. Suppose if you have an ketone like this can give two types of enolates. This can give two types of enolates. One is this one, the other one is on this side, right, in the presence of OH minus. So if I take OH minus, this OH minus can extract proton from here or it can extract proton from this carbon. So we will get these two enolate ions. Now see, this enolate ion is coming from a more stable anion, right? And remember in aldol we always expected this to be major product. So from more stable anion only the attack would happen. So this is a what do you say, stable anion, stable carb anion, right, enolate. Got it? But if you see the overall alkene here between this and this, which is more stable, this one is more stable. So if you see alkene wise, alkene less stable here while alkene more stable here. Okay, so suppose if there is any final product forming here, that means it gets hydrolyzed here, it gets hydrolyzed here. So then this enol would be more stable. So that's what I meant. Therefore, this is because this is coming from a stable carb anion. This is the kinetic enolate, while this one is a thermodynamic. This is normally formed at low temperature. Low temperature is preferred, correct? This is preferred at high temperature. At high temperature, this is more preferred. So what type of a basis, if at all I write it for generic form now, suppose if I take any base B minus. So what type of a basis will favor more of this product and more of this product? If you see all the bulky bases like tert butoxide, LDA, okay, you know LDA, right? If you don't remember that, this is the structure of LDA minus and lithium plus. Okay, all these at around minus 78 degrees centigrade, these bulky bases will usually give the enolate at the low less substituted carbon. So those will always extract proton from this carbon. Okay, while when it comes to thermodynamic enolates, right, so they usually come from smaller bases like OH minus, got it, NH2 minus, either at normal temperature or at high temperature, H minus, got it, ETO minus, any of this. Okay, so all of these would give us, you know, alkenes which are more stable formation here, more stable enolate formation. Okay, let me show you a few examples how this can be useful for the reactions. Correct? Suppose if there is a reaction, if there is a question given where I have a cyclic ketone here with a group with methyl group here, and first it is given LDA at around minus 78 degrees centigrade, and second reaction is CH3Br. So first what would happen? enolate ion would be formed, which means first carb anion is formed here, which in turn will convert into an enolate ion O minus, like this. So it is a kinetically controlled enolate ion. This will be formed and this will attack CH3Br. So this double bond will close and this Y will attack here. So finally we will have a product of double bond O with methyl on this side and this side. This is what you would have. But imagine the same reaction is being asked to do with first KH, okay, KH in N-hexane. Temperature is not mentioned, which means you will take around room temperature. So CH3Br. So this H minus now will extract proton from this this carbon. So we will have enolate ion forming on this side, okay, which will stabilize to get this stable enolate, which when treated with CH3Br, okay, this will form double bond O, CH3 and CH3. Okay, so you need to understand like in which cases, you know, which enolate is more stable. Alright, so this type of question could be asked, so you got to be prepared for that. Now how this would help us, you know, why this is to be taught here, because this can be used in aldol condensation. You know, instead of directly starting with aldehyde, I might start using this LDA or KH like that. Okay, let me give you one example. Give me just 2 minutes, I'll finish this. For instance, if you have CH3 C double bond OH and I used LDA at around minus 78 degrees centigrade. So what is the first thing we'll have? We'll have CH2 double bond C O minus and H. This is the enolate ion form. This reaction with the second mole C double bond O H here, right? Either I react with this or I can make any cross conjugation, anything. Okay. So I'm reacting with this. Now I will have this CH2 minus attacking here. So we'll have CH3 CHOH with CH2 C double bond OH. This is the aldol formation, and this aldol on heating will give us CH3 CH double bond CH CH. This is how the product formation is observed. Okay, so instead of directly starting with, you know, aldol with some base, okay, you can use this type of bases, any bulky bases or something. How this is useful, you can see this is one example. Let me take last example here. Suppose if you have double bond with this and I started with first LDA with minus 78 degrees centigrade, okay, and then I wanted to continue that with the product here CHO. Now I need to guess what is the product you will get. So first we will have double bond O, minus will be formed here, right, because LDA will go for less substituted carbon. So then it reacts with C double bond OH and this minus will attack on this carbon. So thereby we will have this as CHOH with this group getting connected here with double bond O, and this will be the final product, final aldol. Okay, these are called the directed aldols, which means instead of directly giving an aldol, we start with using a base here, right, and then create an enolate that will attack on whatever the aldehyde or ketone we take.